Hi guys, how are you all? So today I would like to talk about the full moon in Virgo that everybody's been talking about in past few days, and I have shared a lot of videos on my social media from the people that I hold in a high respect and I follow myself, and I found a great value in, so I hope you did too. And today I would like to share my insights and apply evolutionary astrology onto the energies that we are currently experiencing and to be experiencing, and like I keep saying, the story just continues. So this is not something new, and it's not something that's gonna be over anytime soon. So anyway, where to start? I have a lot of notes ready. So first of all, as everybody is probably aware of by this point, this full moon in Virgo is happening on a 16 degrees of Virgo. Where I am at, it's gonna be happening at 6:40 in the morning. And at that time, literally, it is just before Saturn moves into the sign of Pisces, which I feel is very important information, a very important aspect to take into consideration. And yeah, of course, this full moon is making a lot of aspects. Probably the most important aspects to pay attention to is the T-square, which is there is a planet Mars in Gemini squaring both Sun and the Moon, which are in opposition because it's a full moon. So this is very important. I get to it in a moment. And as we know, Mercury just recently moved into the sign of Pisces, and Mercury is the ruler of both Mars and actually ruler of this full moon, because the moon is in a sign of Virgo, and both Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury. So this is another important information. And Mercury just obviously made a conjunction with Saturn the same day before moving into the sign of Pisces, which again is very important. I have posted a video about this on my social media, but to go back to it, obviously Mercury has gone through the sign of Aquarius, where it accumulated the information after conjuncting Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, where it also retrograded. So it found out where it is that we feel disempowered, gone through the sign of Aquarius, where it accumulated information, how we want to individuate, how we want to be free, but what is still holding us back from being free. Then it conjunct in Saturn, planet Saturn, on the 29 degrees. So it's like the end of it. Like let's just let go of these restrictions. Like I'm sick and tired of this. And then it moved into the sign of Pisces the same day. So this happened 3 days ago. And obviously in the sign of Pisces is a time of letting go, and also time of stop lying to ourselves, because Pisces in a high vibration is obviously very spiritual and connecting to the source. Also Mercury in a sign of Pisces, like I mentioned in my previous videos, doesn't talk to us in a linear fashion. It's not very logical and analytical, but it's quite the opposite. We have to trust our intuition, and we get communication through the signs, symbols, music, videos, stuff like that. And obviously on a high vibration it's about the spirituality. On a low vibration it could be the sense of victimhood and feeling sorry for ourselves, and also how we lie into ourselves. It's also, Mercury can be a trickster, and in a sign of Pisces it could be like we completely disillusioned. So this Mercury in Pisces is obviously something that we need to pay close attention to, because of what is it ruling, which in this case is the Mars squaring this full moon, and also is ruling the moon in the sign of Virgo. And as discussed before, there is obviously there is tons of energies happening in a sign of Aries. Jupiter is there, Chiron is there, Venus is there. Chiron and Jupiter just recently made a conjunction, so that's about our, pay attention to this way that you want to break yourself free, because as I've spoken about before, the sign of Aries is all about instinctual need for a new beginning. Like it's a desire for a new direction in our life, and having Jupiter there about our belief system, the way through which we see reality, and Venus, actually, as you know, we know Venus is very important because of the rulership to the North Node currently, and then South Node from the summertime. And another thing that we need to pay attention to, which is very important, is actually from now for the rest of the year, Pluto is squaring the nodes, and it will continue to do so. It's squaring them now while they in the sign of Taurus in Scorpio, and it will continue to square them when they move into Aries and Libra this summer in July. So this is again a very important piece of information. So how to put all this together with what I'm getting, and also the confirmation that I got from watching other people and what are they getting, what they tapping into, and we are all tapping into the same thing. So obviously Virgo, as we know from traditional astrology, and I don't want to spend too much time talking about it because there is plenty of material that you can watch where it's explained in a better way. It's all about healing, it's all about detoxifying, it's all about taking care of yourself, taking better care of yourself, and actually having this moon in a sign of Virgo. It's very practical moon because Virgo is grounded. It's a earthy sign, even though it's mutable. So it want us to take practical steps into integrating maybe new choices of action, because obviously with this Mars squaring it, what is this telling me? And this is something that I want to refer to both videos that I already shared, and I will post the links below. What Teal Swan was talking about it, the resistance. Resistant towards change, perhaps. In this case, I would say that's correct. And also with Amanda Ellis, what she was also saying that, there is also like this us like being stuck, like us resisting the change, us not wanting to go for it because we are holding for dear life to these old definitions of who we are, of what we are attached to. And with this Mars obviously being in a sign of Gemini and Mercury being in a sign of Pisces, the ruler of Gemini, it is again about how we are disillusioned, how we are clinging on to these things that we think that we need are important to us, or this thinking process, like perhaps how we thought in the past, and it's just holding us hostage, like it's creating this sense of victimhood mentality. And with the Mars squaring the moon, it's telling us that there is this tension, there is this pressure for resolution. Something needs to happen, something needs to be changed. And obviously from the opposite direction we have Pluto squaring the nodes, which is also putting a pressure that there are things that need to be changed, things that we need to let go of. Resolution node is the south node. There is always a resolution to the squares when it comes to squares to the nodes, and in this case it is the south node. So again, it's telling us, because being in Scorpio, the things that are making us feel limited, disempowered. And like I said, with the square to the full moon coming from Mars in Gemini, it is all about how we think. It's our brain, it's our thinking process, our beliefs that are keeping us disempowered, that are keeping us stuck, because obviously Mars is ruling Jupiter and Venus, who are in the sign of Aries. So this is all piling on the top of each other. And so what I really wanted to bring to the context is that actually every time there is Pisces and Virgo energy, we have to take into consideration the collective, because it's like another layer. And obviously this is a general video, so it is about collective, but it's more about the past 20 years, 2000 years of the age of Pisces, where we were so deeply conditioned by the Catholic Church, and us having to behave certain way, have the same values, also the consensus and the shared ideal of the society, and how we have to serve just for the sake of sacrificing ourselves, not necessarily in a way that would make us feel self-actualized and all this. So I feel that this is something that needs to be brought into the context of this full moon in Virgo, because also in the video that Teal Swan released just yesterday, and I love Teal Swan because she's always so spot on, and I don't know whether she's watching the astrology transit herself, or she has a discussion with the astrologer every time she's just about to release a video what she should talk about, but she's always spot on with the theme she chooses for her videos. And they completely perfectly align with the transits at the time. So anyway, so this video, I will post the link below, that she posted yesterday, was about wanting to be loved for who we are not. And this is literally the Virgo archetype in a low vibration and the conditioning of the Pisces age. And that is telling us, because Virgo obviously wants to be perfect. It wants to be of service, but there is this low vibration when it just wants to be perfect. It just wants to be perfect for any cost, and it just gets itself into crisis, all worked up because it's not perfect. And what can I do to be perfect, right? And to me, this has so much deeper meaning, because it's as we can notice, the society that we are living in, which is telling us that there is a certain way which is perfect, certain way to look, certain way to live a life, the certain things that we should be wanting, that are the right things to want and stuff. And this deep conditioning that a lot of people have struggled with, and also has been passed on to us from our ancestors, that there is a certain definition of how we should live in this world, what we should value, how we should be, how we should look, where we should work, how much money we should have, all this kind of thing, which giving us the sense of inferiority, that we are not good enough. So most of us, there are certain aspects of us that, you know, this fragmentation that we dissolved, rejected, that we don't want to accept as a part of who we are, because they're making us feel ashamed. They're making us feel ashamed, making us feel guilty, making us feel we're not good enough, we don't deserve. And this is literally the Virgo Pisces archetype, because the Pisces is like, oh, I'm spiritual, I'm perfect, right? It's the perfect, it's the wholeness, it's the spirit, it's everything. And the Virgo is trying so hard to get to that point, because it's in opposition. So it gets itself all worked up because it wants to be perfect. But what is perfect? What does it mean to be perfect? The perfect is something different for everyone, but we just bought into this shared ideal that there is just one way to be perfect, one definition how it should look. And that's why in this video from Teal Swan, she so perfectly describes this energy, because she's talking about how people, in many cases, suffer the entire life because they're striving to be who they're not, and they're trying to meet somebody else's expectation of perfection, and they're trying to be loved for who they're not, and that makes them feel this void, because they are not being seen, heard, understood, accepted for who they truly are. And this is like, I'm going to layer this up. I hope that I don't lose you guys, because my brain works so fast and I need to try to express this in a way that makes sense. So this was the first, for me, very important thing, because this is what I've been tapping into, that this has to do with the Pisces age. This has to do with this inherited sense of shame and guilt and inferiority that most people have. They feel it, you know, in themselves. They might not even understand it. It might not be even be theirs from their experience. It could be just something we, like I said, inherited from our ancestors, because it's a collective energy, collective trauma. Also, Chiron being in a sign of Aries is talking about, because it's telling us you have to start a new direction. You need to let go of this wound of the past and just embrace this new direction. Embrace that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not know. It's okay to just go for it without knowing where you're heading. It's okay, you know. With the Aries, it's the baby energy that just know there is a purpose out there. There are things to explore, but it doesn't have the direction because it doesn't have the experience. So the Chiron is telling us, like, it's okay, you know, just go for it. Just go for it and you'll find your way. And, you know, don't worry about the past, you know, because the cycle is closed. You know, the cycle closes with Pisces. Chiron is in Aries now. So the cycle of the past is closed. So don't be slave of the past. Just let go of it. And that's why we are in a month of Pisces. There is this huge opportunity for doing exactly that, for letting go, dissolving, and preparing for this new cycle, for these new energies that are coming. So anyway, so from this video from Teal Swan, that was the one point of it, which I wanted to bring into the conversation because of this inherited feeling of guilt and shame, this Virgo archetype. And also I feel that probably the crescendo of this energy will be, from about 2 years from now, because obviously the nodes in July will be moving into the sign of Aries and Libra, and then afterwards they will be moving into the sign of Pisces and Virgo, because it goes backwards. The nodes go backwards. So this will be, let me count. So 2023, it will be there until January 2025. So in January 2025, they will move into Virgo, and that 18 months from January 2025 until obviously 2026, which is very important year, as I keep talking about, because everything, all these big planets are going to be in brand new signs. Chiron's Chiron is an asteroid, but it's very important to our collective consciousness because of the collective wound. And also Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, they all will be new signs by then. And that's why 2026 is a very, very paramount year. And it's interesting that in that year, we'll have the nodes in Virgo, Pisces. And that's why I feel this full moon is to give us a poke, like, hey, this energy is building up. Are you ready to heal this collective wound, heal this collective trauma, let go of it, so you can be yourself, so you can take this opportunity of the Aries and start a brand new direction. Obviously, Pluto going into sign of Aquarius. Are you ready to be authentic? Are you ready to live your individuated life, your life of sovereignty, being who you truly are, not what everybody else is telling you should be, what everybody else is telling you what are their expectation, and what you should value, and who you should be with, and what kind of job you should have, and car, and whatever, it doesn't matter. And this is the Virgo. It's striving to be perfect. We all striving, well, not everyone, but a lot of people, because of the conditioning, the societal conditioning, we are striving to be perfect. But it's not possible, because we humans, we are inherently imperfect, and we perfect in our imperfection. And that's why we're here to learn. If we were perfect, in a spirit form, we wouldn't need to come to human body to have this experience, because, in spirit form, we already know everything anyway. So that was the first layer of that. And then what Amanda was telling in her video that she shared on Instagram, which I also shared, and I will also link up, because I want to give shout out to the people who created these videos. I don't want to just steal their material, but actually it's important for people to acknowledge that this comes from them. She talks about the energy that's holding us back. Obviously this us clinging to this old, this because it make us feel comfortable. It's toxic, but it make us feel comfortable because that's what we always knew, how we always done things. That there is the safety and security in these old definitions. Saturn going through the sign of Aquarius has been working through it. Obviously Pluto going through the sign of Capricorn for the past 15 years has been telling us, like, it's been bringing all this dysfunctionality of society to the surface. Like, look, it's actually, this is not working anymore. We're still being ruled by the laws and expectations and everything from million years ago. It doesn't apply necessarily all of it to us, to current age, to current times, to who we are evolving to be. We still want to be following the same rules from 200 years ago. Like, it's not possible, because the evolution requires us to keep moving forward, right? What she was saying also was that the energy she was tapping into, with the card reading she was providing, was that we have to free ourselves from these illusions and letting go, because all this energy that is currently going through the sign of Pisces, as I've been saying, obviously Mercury is already in Pisces. Saturn is just about to enter Pisces, literally like less than an hour after this full moon. So that's huge. And then, Sun is there, Neptune is there. Obviously, Sun is going to conjunct Neptune, Mercury is going to conjunct Neptune, Mercury is going to conjunct Sun, everything happening in Pisces. So this is helping us to acknowledge where are we lying to ourselves, because that's what's stopping us. That's the square, this Mars squaring the full moon, ruled by Mercury in Pisces. Mercury just about to make conjunction, already made a conjunction with Saturn, so it knows what is restricting us, but now it's trying to figure out where are we lying to ourselves, what are these illusions, and how can we find this higher meaning if we're still stuck in the past, right? The Pisces, the 12th house, which is wanting us to culminate it, wanting us to let it go, just move on, which is very hard, because sometimes we have to let go of things and people that it's not easy, right? I have the same experience. It's not easy. And then Amanda was also mentioning this mothering, this is something very important, which I want to bring to attention, and I'm stealing this from her, this self-mothering, because I feel that this is the energy of the Mars entering the sign of Cancer, because obviously Cancer is all about family, and I have already mentioned this before in regards to Cancer also represents new identity, so it's an opportunity for redefining how we see ourselves, who we actually are, and also what she brought into conversation with this self-mothering. It is the emotional self-reliance, because we sometimes are giving our power away, relying on people and things and corporation and governments to mother us. And this energy that's happening right now, it is not going to stand for it. Even with Saturn going into Pisces, like after he's just gone 3 years through the sign of Aquarius, like literally showing us everything that is dysfunctional in this society, in this culture that we're living in, through the sign of Aquarius, literally telling us that, hey guys, these things that you thought were stable and secure, they don't actually work. Government doesn't care. It's not going to protect you. It's not your mom and dad, right? So you need to individuate. You need to find a way to protect, to take care of yourself, but not alone. Like nobody is going to survive on their own. It's about this: find like-minded people, find people, things, and whatever that is in resonance, because Aquarius is about resonance. It's about fractal, being on the same fractal and creating like this community, supporting each other, having people having your back who actually you can really trust and rely on, not because they feel that they owe you, or with the Pisces we need to sacrifice and we need to be there for others because priest said in a church that that's what a good person does, which is of course nice, very honorable, but you want really people that to do it because they care, because they actually from the human point of view we all have compassion, so we care, but also because there are people that resonate with who you are, that they really get you and really accept you for who you are. But how are you gonna find these people if you want to be loved for who we are not, right? If you want to fulfill this expectation of the society for being a certain way and being perfect, right? The Virgo, perfect. Let's be perfect and attract people because we are perfect. That doesn't exist, and the people we're going to attract that way are not the right people for us. And in that case, there is no this resonance, right? This Aquarius energy. So Saturn now has gone through the sign of Aquarius to show us exactly that. Like the structure, guys, it's not something you can rely on in the future. And now Saturn is moving into Pisces less than an hour after this full moon. It's still in a sign of Aquarius, so it's still telling us, hey, pay attention, like still you're holding on to certain definitions that are making you feel disempowered, right? And obviously Pluto is still in a sign of Capricorn, it's just about to move on the 23rd in this month. So again, Saturn on a like almost 30 degrees more or less at the time of the full moon. Pluto on the 29 degrees of Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. So again, ending the cycle. So they're all telling us, pay attention. There is something that, you need to let go of, but we're still clinging on to for dear life, still clinging on to the last minutes of the sign, right? And then obviously Saturn in Pisces, there will be no boundaries, there will be no clear definition, there will be a lot of chaos and confusion. So what is this telling us? You have to learn to trust yourself, to trust your intuition, to connect with the source. Look for the signs, look for the symbols, like with the Mercury in sign of Pisces, like I mentioned already in this video, it doesn't speak to you in a linear, analytical, logical way. It comes to you through signs like meditation. Obviously, the Virgo represents the card Hermit in the tarot. So you need to learn to go within, to have this quiet time and space for yourself, where you learn what it is for you, where you can learn to trust yourself. Also, Mars in the Cancer. Cancer is super intuitive. Trust your guts. Trust your emotions. Or some people say don't trust your emotion because, they bias. But obviously how we feel, our body communicates with us, right? And then going back to this Mars entering the sign of Cancer, few days actually after the equinox, after the new moon that will happen in Aries on the 21st this month. So this Mars, like I said, in Cancer is about self-mothering, emotional self-reliance. So we need to learn how to trust. Obviously, already Venus being in a sign of Aries, Jupiter being in a sign of Aries, and Chiron being in a sign of Aries. Chiron in a sign of Aries telling us it's okay to be you, it's okay to start again. It's okay even if you lived a different type of life, it's perfectly okay to start anew. It's okay, because life is a cycle. Things begin and things end. Everything that's got a beginning has an end. That's the nature. And like you can observe in nature and see how perfect it is, and how everything's perfectly orchestrated if we don't interfere with it, obviously, which is happening. And how nature doesn't resist it. There is no resistance of like, oh shit, now fall is coming and oh my god, I'm gonna lose all my leaves, because there is this inherent trust in a higher intelligence of the nature, right? Also North Node in Taurus, like one aspect of it, we can say we have to learn to trust the nature, connect with the nature again, because we've been too much relying on someone else holding the power, but these people, they're just people as well, they're just humans. They also have a role to play in this big play, this game of life on the stage that we are all part of. So anyway, taking it back to this Mars, that is going to change sign soon after the equinox. Pluto will change sign, and 2 days after Mars will change sign, obviously. And and this is to again help us to realize how we can take care of our emotional state, emotional world, where we don't project onto others or like demand or expect from someone else to make us feel certain way, right? And don't give them the power to be able to do that. Obviously, South Node in Scorpio, don't give your power away. Stop giving your power away. Pluto is squaring the nodes the entire year, pointing to the South Node. Where are you still giving your power away? And like I started talking about these new energies, obviously Chiron in Aries, Venus. So we're learning about our values. This will become more prominent, as I keep saying, when the nodes will change. So the North Node will go into sign of Aries. So for 18 months, it will be all about self-discovery. Who are you, right? A lot of relationship will fall apart because if they no longer resonate with who you are, who you have become, because how other people see you, that is not who you are. That is their definition of who you are. It's not who you are, and then they project it onto you, and you change, but people try to box people and put a label on it that this is who you are and this is how you should be for the rest of your life. But people keep changing, which is necessary. We need to change, we need to evolve, we need to grow. If you are the same person as you were 10 years ago, then what have you been doing for 10 years, right? Like, no judgment, but keep the good qualities, but don't necessarily hold on to the things that no longer serve you for a dear life, as I've been doing as well. This includes me too. I'm working on this too, guys. Like, we all in this together. Like, nobody's spared of these energies. So anyway, so there we have these new energies already ready, right? Jupiter, Venus, the new belief system, new idea about new perception of reality, with the Jupiter. So this is already, it's already, the actors are taking the stage. But, by the time we have this new moon in Aries, Venus will have already moved into sign of Taurus, actually. But anyway, so some of it, we are already ready to shift. Some of it, we are still stuck in the past. We still need to let go of because of all this energy currently still present in the sign of Pisces, right? And as I said, the planet Saturn will be just moving into sign of Pisces shortly after this full moon. So it still needs to let us know that there is still this you need to pay attention to, this thing that is still making you stuck and feeling restricted from actually being able to liberate yourself and live your life authentically. And then another thing I wanted to bring attention towards, which I feel is important, I even wrote it down here, is that today is the 5th, okay? So it's 2 days before the full moon in Virgo. We have a Mercury sextile in the North Node. So Mercury in Pisces is already telling us, okay, I think I know what I need to let go of, I know this is the thing that is, keeping me stuck, repeating the same patterns, right? Because it's sextile, is like a supportive aspect to North Node in Taurus, which is the evolutionary intention where we head in, right? And then Mercury will actually sextile Uranus, which is like the awakener, like, hey, if you don't do it, then I'm going to help you. If you don't move, I'm going to move you. It's happening on the 11th of the 3rd, almost at the same degree as this full moon. So I find this interesting, right? And on the same day, we have Venus in Aries sextile in Mars. And Mars is ruled by Mercury. So that's another thing that is really interesting, because Mercury, as I said, is also the ruler of this full moon. So interestingly, we have Mercury making a positive aspect to North Node. Mercury will be making positive aspect to Uranus on the same degree, pretty much, as this full moon is happening. And Venus will be making positive aspect to Mars, which is telling us that between now and then, 11th, there might be some realization. There might be some relation this full moon, because full moon is like, integration. So suddenly, there is this bulb moment, the sun shines on this problem and goes like, okay, I'm going to illuminate everything for you. So now you understand. And also, like I said, this Saturn on the last degree, this Pluto on the last degree. So I'm telling you, this is what you are clinging onto for dear life, but is no longer serve you. You need to go and let it go, let it die. You need to let it, you need to let it go. And that's, obviously this moving into the sign of Pisces, Saturn moving into the sign of Pisces, where it's going to be for 3 years. And it's going to be dissolving everything that it found rotten, that everything that's been brought to the surface, like how dysfunctional this world is currently, how toxic, this all will be dissolving within the next 3 years. And as I already mentioned, the only way how you can find the solid ground, because Pisces is anything but solid. It's mutable energy, it's very watery, and it's very nebulous. There is nothing to hold on to. The only thing you will be able to hold on to is your intuition, is your inner guidance. And that's why Mercury, Mars, that is the ruler of, the Chiron, obviously Venus and Jupiter at the moment, so our belief system, our values and stuff is squaring this, because we may be still not so sure, or maybe we are, but we don't know how to get it. That is my case too. I know what I want, but I don't necessarily know yet how to manifest this, how to get it. And obviously Saturn in a sign of Pisces, Saturn is the planet of manifestation. And in Pisces, yes, it's gonna behave very, very non-Saturnian. But it's also giving us an opportunity to solidify our spiritual practice, and then perhaps give us an opportunity to manifest, because like I mentioned before from Joe Dispenza work, if we're going to try to manifest from the material, it's going to take us very long time. But once Saturn moves into Pisces, which is formless, if you tap into the source and try to use the quantum and actually the invisible for manifestation, then things can happen instantly. It's an instant change. So these are the things that I wanted to refer back to. And then obviously, like I said, we have these other things going on, like there is some positive the very important thing, actually, I wanted to mention that because of the Mercury's sextile in Uranus on the same degree almost as this full moon on the 11th, and Venus making the positive aspect to Mars, and Venus rules Uranus, and actually Uranus is the one that's making positive aspect to this full moon. So it's sextile in the sun, which is in sign of Pisces, as we know, and it is trining the moon. So obviously Uranus also, I would say, is encouraging us to trust our intuition, trust our inner guidance. Also with the Virgo is a healer, so it's also encouraging us that, okay, I'm going to shake things up for you, or I'm gonna maybe turn your world upside down in some way, because I want to help you to heal. I want to help you to integrate, because Uranus is our subconscious, is our unprocessed trauma. And obviously even these things that are keeping us stuck, which is also something Amanda mentions, these things that are making us feel stuck and disillusioned, and unable to make changes, are because of the trauma we experienced and hasn't been healed and integrated. And it's ruling our life, because it's ruling our subconscious behaviors, subconscious patterns, and our subconscious rule 95% of our day, pretty much. We go on automatic. And Virgo is the healer, Virgo is the healer. That when people talk about Virgo and Uranus, that's like going through the therapies, psychotherapies or whatever kind of therapies which help you to bring things to the surface for healing. Uranus is the trauma that is deeply in our subconscious. Obviously, things happen, trigger us, environment, circumstances trigger us that bring this trauma to the surface. And then we go to find the modality that help us heal it, which is Virgo. So my intuitive, what I feel is that this is exactly what is happening at the moment. Obviously, sun is shining onto the Pisces. So sun is shining like, okay, this all has to be dissolved. This all no longer has a space into the future. This all doesn't make sense or gives you a sense of meaning. And also, this is where you lie into yourself. This is where you've been feeling victimized, or where you're feeling disillusioned. And also, like I said, Mercury being there, Mercury is telling us, okay, what lies am I telling to myself? What am I holding on to that is making me feel victimized, martyrdom, right? And like I said, this Uranus is sextile in the sun, so obviously, or sun is sextile in Uranus, so that's obviously showing us, positive, like a supportive aspect, right? Supportive aspect, but we have to take an action. And then Uranus is then trining moon. So Uranus is saying, okay, I have an idea, I know what it is, and now, okay, let me go and get that person, that person, that person I can talk to, or, you know, this modality, like obviously with Mercury in Pisces, it's something that is not, you know, it's not necessarily communication as a spoken communication. It could be like this, you know, this singer that I mentioned previously, Milan Moritz, you know, which is channeling the source music, right? So like something like that, like listening to her meditation, which is like healing you on a deeper level, because it's this higher frequential music. Also, like just listening to any high frequential music, or going into nature, you know, like grounding, you know, because obviously Mars is Uranus is in a sign of Taurus, so, you know, it's also encouraging us to connect with the nature, you know, ground. Again, Moon is in Virgo again, earthy sign. So again, like you know, like of course, like what kind of diet we can change. Like obviously food is has a huge impact on how we feel, how we look, you know, how we you know, it also can support or like support or suppress our intuition, you know, the things that we eat. So it's maybe tapping into this thing, looking into this thing. But to me, strongly, like this trine between Uranus and Virgo moon, is telling me about healing, you know, finding the healing modality that works for you, you know, and it is very likely to be something that is non-traditional, non-conventional, because of the Pisces aspect to Mercury, you know, Mercury in Pisces, that is the ruler of the full moon, right? And ruler of the Mars, which is squaring the rules, squaring the moon. So this Mars is like, oh, I can't move forward, I'm stuck because I still believe these lies, you know. Oh. I mean, it's not funny, I don't know why I'm laughing, I'm just trying to lighten up the mood. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. I am 36 minute talking. So yeah, so shout out again to Teal Swan. I don't think she will ever see this video, but shout out to her anyway, because I just love how her videos every week reflect the energy of the astrology. So shout out to Teal Swan, and shout out to Amanda Ellis, of course, because Amanda Ellis is amazing. She's a fantastic spiritual teacher and a guide, and she offers always a practical application, and she's so true to, you know, down to earth and like authentic, that she also just, you know, just tells you how it is. That's it, you know, this is what needs to be done, like in a very, very sensitive way, because obviously she is Cancerian, but I can feel a Capricorn there. I don't know, I just like there is definitely strong Capricorn there somewhere, because it's like, you know, structured, like this is how you know, how we can do it, practical application. So yeah, guys, so this is pretty much it. Like I said, one last thing to mention, obviously, which I already spoken to briefly about, is that Sun will be conjuncting, let me tell you exact dates. So Sun will be conjuncting Neptune on the 15th. So this might be again a great time for some illumination in regards to your purpose, or, you know, or also illumination in regards to where is this delusion, you know, where is my obsession, where is my addiction, where is this thing that is making me feel disempowered. And then also Mercury will conjunct Neptune the day later on the 16th. So that's obviously where we might get even more downloads, because Mercury in Pisces in conjunction with Neptune, oh my God, that's literally like God speaking to you directly, you know. There is no veil when it comes to source communication. And then Mercury will conjunct Sun. So it's just fun, because Mercury obviously in conjunction in Sun, I mean, Sun burns the planet. It like takes its energy, right? But it's also reborn, right? Because when it's this Kazimi, when it's, I believe, like 15 these minutes away, something like that. It's like certain amount of minutes, and that's when the planet is like illuminated, right? It's like gets this new breath of life. And that's, you know, because this is Mercury, obviously, with Sun in Pisces, that's again like, watch out for signs, watch out for the communication, watch out for direction, watch out for your intuition talking to you, because it is going to, I mean, this month especially, like everything is Pisces, and with Mercury now being there, the communication is absolutely intuition is talking to you, your higher self is talking to you. yeah, and then obviously there are tons of other aspects. I don't want to talk about all of this now, because obviously as the month goes on, we can talk about it later. But this, in regards to the full moon, just to summarize things, I really feel that this is about healing the deep wound in regards of wanting to be a certain way, wanting to be perfect. I think this is the main thing, wanting to be perfect, and how we are programmed to believe that that is supposed to look certain way, and we all striving for it and clinging on to it, these definitions of what it means for dear life, and that is then programming our behavior, and as I said, like making us feel inferior, making us feel that we're not good enough or we don't deserve. And perhaps this is the trauma that many of us are subconsciously feeling, that well, maybe I can't have more money because I don't deserve, or maybe because I don't know, my ancestors didn't have what I want, and that makes me feel ashamed or guilty because why am I so selfish, or something like this. But Aries is not selfish energy. It's like telling a little baby that, hey, don't be so selfish, don't want food every 2 hours. Like, who do you think you are? I don't have whole day just to take care of you, like you can't say that to baby. Aries is like that. It's a baby energy, it doesn't know any better. It just came to this world and it wants to experience it, and it's just learning. So it's not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. And like I said, this will become more prominent once the North Node will move into the sign of Aries. So so let's just learn what it is that you are, who it is that you are, what it is that you want, what it is that you believe, what it is that is still holding you feel stuck. Identify what it is. And I highly recommend to watch this video from Teal Swan and Amanda Ellis. I put the links below about this, why do we want to be loved for who we are not, and how that causes a huge suffering. That's again the Virgo. And also what Amanda has been speaking about, like why are we still clinging on to dear life and not letting go of something that doesn't serve us anymore and is preventing us from bringing this new energy into our life. And I am a strong believer, and this is tried and tested by my life experience. If there is something that you doing going against yourself, the self-betrayal that you've been sacrificing yourself all your life, either you will get sick, which is also Virgo archetype, or there will be external circumstances that will out of your control, that will make you stop doing that, because there is just so long we can be off course, because obviously we have a path to follow, we have a purpose, and our soul chose a certain direction, which is obviously why evolutionary astrology is so powerful, because that's what it helps people to understand and uncover where we came from and what the soul is working towards or on, and what is the potential for the evolutionary expansion. And that's why I love it. That's why I offer it to people, and to help them to find this sense of self-empowerment within themselves, rather than going to astrologer every time they have a problem. Obviously that's very useful too, but I want people to find the power within themselves, when they know that they can trust and rely on themselves, and nothing that is happening in their life is because of some accident or coincidence. No. So anyway, guys, this is it. Almost 45 minutes. I really shut up now. So if you like this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And if you want a reading with me, don't hesitate to contact me. You can DM me through my social media, or you can email me on my email address. I will put everything below. And thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. Take it easy. Enjoy the full moon. And let's just not want strive and suffer because of perfection anymore, because it's not worth it. Okay, much love to everyone. Bye.